Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of AIWF Ringside Wrestling. I am Mad Matt Carter coming to you live from the PWD studios in Concord, North Carolina, being joined by Commissioner Rick Diesel from his palatial estate in White Plains, North Carolina. Good to
It's
have
the
you.
office, as you can tell.
Yeah.
My paperwork.
Yeah, you got to hold on to that stuff for how many years for the IRS? Four?
7.
Okay, well, you'd know better than I do. So. But anyway,
Hey, anybody out there knows the real answer to that, send it to us in a message on, through Mid Atlantic.
Yeah. So anyway, we wanted to do a kind of something special this week because unfortunately, because of the hurricane, we had to cancel our October 1st show, which was unfortunate. But I think in the interest of
Don't even talk about that.
Just forget like it was never happened, huh?
Yeah, it's considering the fact that we canceled it and then it was perfect night for wrestling. But you know, Matt, you got to make those decisions sometimes reluctantly. But I will be honest with you that the building up there, usually when there's a lot of rain, gets some water around it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because it's on a fairground. Let's just address the gorilla in the room. It is a fairground, and it is a grandstand at the fairgrounds, and they always they when they construct them things, they just construct them for events here and there, not all the time.
Yeah,
but it's one of the best buildings I've ever seen for wrestling. I've said that many times that there's not a bad seat in the house. It holds a lot of people. It's a little I guess unorthodox for most wrestling shows, the way it's set up, but I've had some of the biggest stars in the world tell me that was one of the best buildings they've ever been in.
Yeah,
for a presentation for wrestling.
Well, if you think about
anybody out there who wants to throw off on our building can kiss my natural white ass, because some of the biggest stars in the building say you're full of shit.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it aesthetically, like when you're filming the wrestling, like you can see the way the building's constructed. You film from one side, you've got the whole audience on one side of the building pretty much. And then from the wrestling fans' perspective, there's not a bad seat in the house. If you want to sit up where you can see everything on the floor, or you want to sit ringside, it does not matter. Every seat in the house is great.
And if you sit and think about it, if you go back and look at a lot of I guess posts on social media about wrestling, about WWE and AEW, and people talking about, well, the crowd was down, so they put everybody on one side of the building. Here's a picture of everybody on one side of the building. Our building's set up like that. We don't have to do that.
Right.
So WWE and AEW and all of them who does the big national TV shows, they actually go out of their way to make their building look like ours at times. So again, kiss my ass.
And it's not anything new in wrestling either to put everybody on one side of the building. For all you classic wrestling fans that are older like us, or if you went to see Crockett Promotions do a TV taping in a high school gym, everybody sat on one side, and the rest of the place was full. I mean, I've even caught a couple of episodes of Mid Atlantic from like 83 and 84 that they filmed in Spartanburg when business was down, where they only used one side of the building there.
Right.
And Spartanburg's infamous for filling up for wrestling like that. I mean, to this day, if you just put wrestling on the marquee, that building will fill up. I mean, it doesn't matter who's on the card.
Yeah. And like I said, our building it's made for TV, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But it's still it's a great place, and I love it. I get a lot of sentimental value there for me, because I did my first show there back in '96. So
had to be 97. I think that's when we started running it, wasn't it? Or was it 96? God bless, I might be wrong.
December '96 was my first show. It was the Saturday after Christmas. you know, so it was right before New Year's.
So I guess we've been running that. I've been telling everybody we've been running that building since 97. Damn, we've been running it since 96.
Well, you remember Bad Brad wrestled China in that building. That was before my time. And I've been told that was in the spring of 96.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. So when we went to the Armory, I liked the Armory. There was nothing wrong with the Armory, but man, when you said we were going back to Veterans Park, man, I almost jumped out of my shoes. I just love that place.
Well, and like I said, Veterans Park is not, it's not the most convenient build. Oh Lord, I know. I thought my screen went black there.
No. I was just
I thought I'd done something wrong. But like I said, it's not the most perfect building. You know, it's not a high school. It's not a fancy armory. It's not, you know, and yes, you have to walk outside to go to the bathroom. But again, the fans love it because they get to see everything that happens. There's nothing that happens the fans can't see in that building. Mm-hmm. And we love it because it's just, like you said, aesthetically, it's perfect for what we do.
Absolutely. All right. So I guess I'll go into reading or trying to pay some bills here. You know, we are, as always, trying to put the headlock on high advertising prices. You can advertise your business with us, large or small, for only $10 a month. We'll give you a 30-second to 1-minute read. And we try to do this show every week, although it's going to be more sporadic in the next few months because my corporate job, I had to take some strange hours. So it's no telling when it's going to pop up, but we're going to be here every week best we can. $10 a month for a read, or if you want us to produce you a video commercial, we can do that, and it's still cheap, $30 a month. And of course, we appear across all these different platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, anywhere you find your favorite podcast.
Say it.
Roku.
Say it. Yes, Roku. We're on Roku. I'm saying that because they actually put an episode of this show up on Roku.
That is awesome. And see, that's what we're trying to do here, folks, is stretch your advertising dollar. Because, you know, we know most small business people can't afford to sponsor a NASCAR race or a football game, you know, on CBS. So we are trying to get you the most bang for your buck. So if you own a small business, or if you just have a side project where you do like consulting work or, you know, something like that, you can advertise with us, lickety split, nice and cheap, $10 a month. And you'll be across all these platforms. You can either reach out to me personally via social media, or you can email us at AIWF20@hotmail.com if you're interested in joining up with us. And of course, we are on Instagram. All you got to do is search AIWF Mid Atlantic Wrestling. I run the Instagram page and try to keep it up to speed best I can. Sometimes I do a better job than others certain weeks, just depends on how things go, but the AIWF is on Instagram, and I try to do some exclusives. You can actually see the first video footage of Jack becoming the AIWF Mid Atlantic champion to escape that night from the building, was featured on Instagram, so you can go there and check it out right now if you like. All right, some sad news we got to go over today. The passing of one Antonio Inoki, 79 years old, I believe. Yeah, 79 years old. He passed away at his home. Rick Diesel, your thoughts on the career and life of Antonio Inoki?
He was probably the biggest star in the history of Japan. Mm-hmm. He wrestled, or he fought Muhammad Ali. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, in that picture you have there, he was almost as big as Andre the Giant. He could do anything in the business. He was a legend. Mm-hmm. Not only in wrestling, but he was just a legend, period, in Japan. Because, you know, over there, wrestling's a whole different animal in Japan than it is in the United States. And he was the king, period. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you've seen that video. It actually popped up on my Facebook yesterday, I think it was, of the fans lining up to let him slap them.
I saw that about 3 or 4 years ago. Yes.
God, I bet there was 200 people that they had probably had. It was amazing, probably at the the rehab he had to do on his shoulder after that.
No kidding. And I bet you those people paid for that privilege too.
You know they did.
You
know they did. I mean, and you know that you are a mega star when people will pay to let you slap them in the face.
Yes, that's true. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, Antonio Inoki.
And I always thought, until I saw that, I thought that Peloton was the dumbest idea that I ever heard of, because why would I pay somebody to yell at me? But these people actually paid Antonio Inoki to slap him. So that was wild.
Well, now, come on, Matt. You can't say you won't pay nobody you won't pay to have somebody yell at you, because you're married now.
Huh? Yeah, well, I mean, well, yeah, I don't get yelled at too much. I get a lot of mean looks, but it stays pretty quiet around here. So because I'm not a yeller unless absolutely have to. And let's see. I'm reading off NPR now. I thought it would be nice to share this with the fans. Antonio Inoki was revered for never being afraid of a challenge, whether it was dueling heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali or negotiating the release of hostages with the Iraqi government. That's why he was often called the fighting spirit that burns. Inoki died at age 79 after battling a rare disease called amyloidosis, or amyloidosis. I have no idea. That's what New Japan announced on Saturday. His achievements, both in professional wrestling and the global community, are without parallel, and he will never be forgotten, the professional wrestling group wrote in a statement. Kanji Antonio Inoki was born in Yokohama, Japan in 1943, but spent most of his childhood in Brazil, where his family relocated. There, Inoki found a passion for professional wrestling and took on the name Antonio. He was soon recruited by Riki Dozan, one of the most famous Japanese wrestlers of all time, and returned to Tokyo to join the Japanese Wrestling Association, or JWA. Inoki quickly became widely popular for his versatility and charisma in the ring. Years later, he went on to start his own pro wrestling company in 1972 called New Japan Pro Wrestling. Inoki reached global fame in 1976 when he faced Muhammad Ali in a rare wrestler versus boxer match in Tokyo. That took place at Sumo Hall, I believe. The match became credited for pioneering what is known as today as mixed martial arts, where a fighter is allowed to use any style of combat. Off the ring, Inoki was known for his attempts to forge peace and diplomacy through sports. In 1990, Inoki was instrumental in freeing 36 Japanese hostages held in Iraq. Think about that. During his lifetime, the late wrestler also made more than 30 trips to North Korea, serving as one of Japan's few links to the authoritarian regime. Easy for me to say. Most notably, Inoki organized two large sporting extravaganzas, one in 1995 and another in 2014, held in Pyongyang to garner international attention. The first event, known as Collision in Korea, that ought to be familiar to you wrestling fans. There's been a ton of documentaries about that. Drew nearly 380,000 spectators and was considered the biggest pay-per-view in pro wrestling history, although it certainly wasn't one of the best. But yeah, I remember watching that. In 1998, Inoki retired as a wrestler, and in 2010, he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. He is technically considered WWE's first ever Japanese world champion, but that title is not yet recognized by the organization. Antonio Inoki was amongst the most respected men in sports entertainment and a bona fide legend in his homeland, WWE wrote in a statement. The passion for competition earned him the nickname Maru Tukan amongst his peers, which translate to the fighting spirit that burns. So if my Japanese pronunciation is off, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize, but definitely wanted to take some time to remember Antonio Inoki. He was in one of the Bad News Bears movies.
No, I did not know that because I never watched.
The first Bad News Bear movies from 1976 is good. The other ones are not so much, but he does make an appearance in one of those, albeit a little campy, but still. I thought it was pretty cool when I ran across that a few months ago. All right. So
hey, I gotta throw something out there right quick before you do that, man.
What?
Got this this cryptic message from Trista, who, as we all know, finds a way to get something in on this show, no matter when we tape it.
Yeah, her timing is impeccable. That's for sure.
It is, and it's like she knows this. Okay, I don't understand why she sent me this message, but it reads as follows: pound of hamburger, 2 packs of taco seasoning, 4 cups of water, 4 cups of minute rice, mild cheddar cheese.
That it sounds like a recipe for crockpot chili to me.
I don't know what she's doing. Why would she send it to me?
Taco salad, probably a mistake. She's probably sharing a recipe with somebody.
Either that or she's just trying to get in on the show again.
It could be. It could be. Don't worry, Tristan. We'll get to your commercials in a minute.
Yes. Give us a minute.
Yeah. So anyway, look, first up this week, we want to tell you about Premier Auto Detailing. We can make that old jalopy just look like it rolled off the showroom floor. To accentuate that, I show a broken down 79 Pinto on the screen for those of you listening on podcast up on blocks, and a 2022 Corvette above it as before and after pictures. Now, can we transform a 79 Pinto into a 2022 Corvette? No, but we can make whatever your ride is look showroom floor ready.
And they'll polish all 3 tires.
In the case of the 79 Pinto, yeah. Polish all 3 of them. Oh Lord.
Okay, Matt, God, this is driving me crazy. So I got to just hang on a minute. You know me. You've met me.
Yeah. Can I give them the number while you're doing that?
Yeah, go ahead.
336-883-5722.
Did you get it out? Okay. Hey, so me and Matt was sitting here taping the show, and we're wondering why you sent me this message about hamburger and taco seasoning.
Oh shit! Did I send that to you? I meant to send that to
Well, see, that was Matt's theory, is that you sent it to me by accident. But my theory is no matter what time of day we tape this show, you know, and you find a way to get in on it.
How do I know that you're taping a show? I can't even.
Women's intuition.
I'm so tired.
Matt says women's intuition.
Yep.
Oh, I ain't got time for that.
Well, we just wanted, because we figured that's what it was, and that you just wanted to be, you know, to be acknowledged yet again. Yeah. And since
I've acknowledged enough in my life.
Your social media would lead me to believe that you don't really believe that.
What do what now? Say that again.
I said your social media would lead me to believe that you do not really believe that.
I think what he's saying is that on your social media, you do demand a lot of attention.
Mm-hmm.
I do, and I get it.
Yeah. See, it's okay. We all egomaniacs here. That's why we're in show business, for God's sake.
Exactly. And she, God bless her, has followed in those footsteps very, very thoroughly.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're just curious about that. So we'll let you get back to whatever, and then you can send the message to the proper person now.
Okay.
That you've been on the show again. Bye.
So she's gonna be wanting host credits or something before too long.
You know what? I don't care what nobody says. You wait and see. Mark my words on this day. Whatever day it is.
October 2nd.
There you go. October. Is it? Wow.
Yes,
2nd,
yes.
2022. I am saying it right now that it will get to the point where people ask us to have her on more often.
There you go. It probably will. But look, that number again for Premier Auto Detailing we were talking about earlier, 336-883-5722 for those of you listening, 336-883-5722. Another person that deserves a little bit of credit for this show is my wife, Jinky, who was saying for months, you need a proper set. You need a proper background. Now, Joey Nuggs gave me this flag that you guys see behind me last year at Christmas time, and I absolutely loved it, but didn't have anything to do with it. My wife found the background. So we were talking about when we were setting up the set this morning. You know, I was like, hey, look at us. We went to Hollywood last year and actually learned something, you know, how to make something out of nothing almost, you know, because they showed us a lot of tricks in Hollywood that they use to make movies and TV shows about how to make things look bigger than they actually are and fancy stuff up and all that kind of stuff. So she found that background, and I wanted to give her credit for that. It was pretty good find.
You have a rare find there, and that's a wife that supports you in wrestling.
Yeah, she's not happy about it all the time, but
well, none of them are happy about it all the time, but and they all do support their husbands, but
yeah,
those who know.
Yeah, that's why she brings a book and sits in the car most of the time.
Yeah, it does bore, or it does. I guess bore is the right word. It bores the wives quicker than it does the performers.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, let's move right along and talk about Tease Creations, custom apparel. They can make sweatshirts, t-shirts, hoodies, pullover hoodies, and as well as what about tumblers? I'm looking right at one and couldn't even think of what it was called. But yeah, Tease Creations, they're a great sponsor of the show, and you can visit them at teasecreations22.com. That's teasecreations22.com. And she was telling us, didn't she have somebody order something from her from like South Dakota or something like that? Montana.
Georgia. Sent out something last week in Georgia. So, and the best part is she looks at me and goes, I don't understand how they know about me. I'm like,
it's the point. It's your advertising. Facebook.com/Tease Creations. You can look there too, but the website is awesome. teasecreations22.com. You can order merchandise right off of that website, or or it gives you other ways to get in touch with them. So they can custom make just about any design that you could dream up. So if you want a custom t-shirts, if you're going to do the family reunion thing, sometimes people get t-shirts made up for their family reunions. This is a place to reach out, folks. Tease Creations, and their website again is teasecreations22.com. teasecreations22.com. All right. And coming up October 29th, Rick Diesel, here we go. It's time for Fright Night, a big Halloween show every year. And now my question is, I'm going to put out there for the championship committee is, since we're not able to have the Case and Kane matchup with No Comparison Joe Harrison, do the Sioux Dudes with Attitudes get a title shot by default, or what's going to happen at Fright Night? I think they, a hurricane's an act of God. There's nothing you can do about that. I don't see why the challengers would be penalized. The champions have to defend every so often, unless they're granted a special waiver. What's your opinion, Rick Diesel?
Well, I think I agree with you in a lot of ways. I think that also on the flip side of that coin is that means you're assuming that Joe Harrison would have won that match. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's something that the booking committee has to sit and really think of. I'm assuming by next week we'll know more about the card. Because as you know, the show right before any of our big shows, Fright Night, Deal with Steel, Extreme Content, Seasons Meetings, there's always a show to give everybody one last opportunity to get things set up in their favor for that show. So I guess the booking committee would just have to sit down and think, what do the fans want?
Right.
And if they do that, then yeah, there will be a tag title match that night between the Sioux Dudes and the Fighters Club. Well, so I'd say by next week we'll have a lot of big news on this card.
Oh, I cannot wait. Fright Night's one of my favorite shows of the year because of other commitments I've missed the last couple or three probably. And I cannot wait to get back. Fright Night is awesome. And it's just ever since it started in 1997 at the National Guard Armory in Elkin, it has been just an unbelievable show. I remember one night in Elkin, I can't remember if it's 97 or 98, the freaking fire marshal came in there and said, "You cannot let any more people in this gym." There are too many people here. It was standing room only, you know. And they made us shut the doors and stuff.
That's not the first time it's happened to us either. So
yeah, so I mean, and that's rare in independent wrestling, but
very rare.
It happened. It was freaking awesome. So Rick Diesel, I got a special treat for all the fans this week. If I can get it, find it here. We have some matches in a can that you sent me out of the archives that we'd like to share with everybody. Now, this first one's going to be a little bit tricky. Oh, where'd it go? Bear with me here. We're producing live to tape here, folks. So, but this first one is kind of an odd matchup. It took place in Wentworth at the Reidsville Armory. I don't know why the Reidsville Armory is in Wentworth, but that's what it's called. And it was Adam Page back when he was just first starting out. I think it was his first time around. But if you listen to the commentators, and I'm going to kind of take that down a little bit so we can talk over it and not lose the crowd that's just listening to the podcast. But it's a weird thing.
And I want people to look at this now. Look at it then and look at Adam Page now.
Yeah.
I don't know why he tried to kick that kid there, but hey, whatever.
This is back, I think, in like 06, maybe. I'm not real sure. I'm trying to talk over the music so we don't get popped for copyright from YouTube. But there he is. Hangman.
Hangman, people.
Yeah, as a young lad in Wentworth, North Carolina. And I believe this is like the first, I don't know why it's in our archives, but I think this Rick Diesel is the first SCWA show.
I can't remember. I mean, that's what is the old Mid Atlantic ring. So yeah. I don't know if it was, maybe.
And here comes Ricochet on the way to the ring. I'm going to try to talk over this entrance too, so we don't get popped for copyright on YouTube.
There you go.
And you're going to hear during the match commentary from Valerie Diesel, who has disappeared into wrestling folklore over the last few years. She's actually calling this match, and I don't know who the color commentator was for this particular event. And they did not like him in Wentworth. Wow.
And referee Smiley in there. God almighty, the times we had with Smiley. Remember that?
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
I wished I could find that video that we done of him on the treadmill. I don't know. Do you remember that? We did a video with Smiley back a long time ago. And I think it was actually at this armory. And it was Smiley shirtless. I'm pretty sure he was shirtless on a treadmill to the music of Olivia Newton-John's Let's Get Physical.
Oh, wow.
It was one of the greatest things in the history of wrestling. It's a backstage vignette. Was Smiley on that treadmill. And you know him, he's giggling about everything, you know what I'm saying? It's like he had a permanent feather tickling his butthole or something.
Smiley, stayed around for a lot of years, and what he, so we get on him for some of the calls he made, but he was quite an accomplished basketball referee, was my understanding.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
So wrestling wasn't his only refereeing gig.
Yeah. And look at it's amazing to see, Adam Page has certainly bulked up a lot, but let's face it, right here, he is basically right out of high school. He was still a teenager at this time.
Yes. He had been coming down. I think he went to Boogie's camp and Mid Atlantic. We were his, I guess his second. Well, that right there shows but never mind. But no, he would come down. He would train at Boogie's, and then he would come down and he would train with us also. Because I know everybody loves Boogie. Everybody loves Boogie's camp.
Yes,
but he getting out there like he did and getting the experience in other areas while he was in training up there meant a lot. And anybody who does that is smart. But you can see look at the ability he had even back then.
Yeah. Yeah, and you hear, if you watch this video raw, you can hear Valerie Diesel talk about, well, this is the first time we've seen Adam Page. So she had never seen him before, and she had been around the wrestling business for a long time. And I always was under the impression, for some reason, that he was with the Myrtle Beach crowd, but he was actually with the Danville, Virginia crowd.
Yes.
Justin Flash, Jason Blade, and that bunch.
Yes.
And
that's who he wrote with, because you still see him anytime he comes to town. Every once in a while you'll see a picture pop up of him and those guys, even today.
Yeah,
they were best friends. Justin Flash was very instrumental. Give a damn what nobody says. Justin Flash was very instrumental in Adam Page's training. I don't care who gets the credit for it or what, but I sat and watched every time they come to a show, them get in the ring in the afternoon and run drills and workouts, and they were tight, man, very tight. And Adam Page learned a lot from Justin Flash. So,
and let's give Adam Page credit too, because he was really dedicated to wrestling from the start and put a lot of miles while he was in the indies. It's no telling what kind of sacrifices he made. He wrestled all over the freaking country. I don't even know. I'm not even 100% sure he hadn't been to Japan.
Yeah, Japan's where he got. That's where he joined the Bullet Club.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, he if I'm not mistaken, it was in Japan he got into the Bullet Club. But yeah, he did a lot in Japan. He was. That's where I think he. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody, but I think that's where the Hangman persona came into fruition.
Yeah,
these big words this week.
I don't know. There's a lot of $5 words flying around here, as Dr. Bill Payton used to say. But yes, it's really, don't sleep on that. Adam Page, did not sacrifice and has spent a lot of time crafting, his work. It was just something, I would see him on posters for like the big independents and big cities and stuff over the years as he worked his way up. And when he popped up on AEW TV, I was not surprised. I didn't even blink an eye. I'm like, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Well, there's certain people in this business that they say just have it. And Adam Page had it from the start. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He was the crowd loved him. He was very he was a student of the game.
Oh, that was gnarly. He just got hip tossed into the turnbuckle. Oh, you see, he's always had that reckless style. Go ahead, Rick. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're I was just saying that some people have it, and Adam Page had it. And some people have it, some people don't. So he's always had it. Like I said, this is his first his first match with us. I mean, you know what I'm saying, that we've seen him on, and you can see right there, he had it then.
Yeah, and this Ricochet's no slouch either. I have a feeling I know who that is, but I ain't gonna tell it. Ricochet's no slouch either. And
well, now keep in mind, Ricochet has an independent wrestler's body. A lot of independent wrestlers have that body, so that could be anybody.
Yeah. And I just heard Valerie Diesel say on the commentary, this was the debut show of Pure Pro Wrestling.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
Now, and Pure Pro and AIWF Mid Atlantic has had a working relationship for a lot of years. Right since, pretty much since Pure Pro began. And Adam Page was real big with Pure Pro too.
Yes, he was. I'll tell you something.
They're right in his backyard. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'll tell you something. For those of you who are in the Danville, Virginia area, when Pure Pro Wrestling is running, man, and you want to see some exciting shit, go to a Pure Pro Wrestling show. It is wild. Absolutely. Every one of them I've been to just been great. So,
and they run what is Rocky Mount, Virginia. I think they still run Danville. What is that little town right outside of where they really got their big
Pelham.
Pelham.
Yeah, it's right outside
Yes.
Danville, across the North Carolina line. Pelham.
Yeah, literally, the only thing that separates those two communities is the state line.
No kidding.
If it wasn't that state line, Pelham would be a suburb of Danville.
Yeah, it would. And look at this, Adam Page now going all the way to the top rope. For those of you listening, Swanton or Senton Bomb, whatever you want to call it. Here it
Depends
is.
on who's doing it.
1, 2, 3, got him. And did not hook the leg until the last second, but still got the pin. So there you see Adam Page when he was a strapping young lad just starting out in the wrestling business. Pretty cool, huh?
Sorry, that was before Jim and cheeseburgers.
Jim and cheeseburgers. But you know, it was really cool when AEW came to town, although I've told you that I was disappointed in the quality of that show, that Battle of the Belts. But it was kind of cool, man, at the end of the night for Adam Page to come out and work a 6-man. I think he was AEW World Champion at the time. And I told my wife, I was like, look at little Adam Page. He has come so far. You know, I still call him little Adam Page because, you know, when I first met him, he was little, but he's
little Adam Page.
Yeah. Little Adam Page.
And what I'm glad of is that through the years, he didn't get into somewhere where they changed his name and, you know, try to make him somebody that he wasn't. Right. You know, he stayed true to himself throughout the years, and I'm glad he did that.
Yeah. The fact that he's kept his name over all these years is just crazy to me.
Well, it's amazing because, I mean, like, look at WWE. They don't want fans to think anybody was anybody before they come there. So they change everybody, give them their own. And that makes sense because they copyright it and trademark it and, you know, sell the gimmicks to it. So, yeah. You know, and Ricky Morton told me one time for years, that's why him and Robert never sold the rights to their stuff to them, because they could make as much going around to independent shows selling their own stuff as they could make off of that. And that's why it took them so long to, you know, give WWE the rights. And I'm pretty sure that's why they didn't go into the Hall of Fame for so long.
Yeah, well, you know, I believe it too, because if you go to anywhere, and it's time is winding down, folks. You know, the Rock and Roll Express already had their last match in Mount Airy, but if you go to any show they're on and you look at their table, they've got just about anything you could want, you know, and reasonably priced. You know, they're not at there gouging fans, and I think that's why they've made so much money. Part of the reason they made so much money out of over the years is they sell stuff that's affordable.
Right.
And so anyway, but and we've got another match. We'll take a look at some former AIWF superstars that have moved on to other things. One of them has moved to NXT and the other one has moved into politics.
They're a diverse group, those guys.
Yes, indeed. So, but anyway, we need to pay a couple more bills real quick here. So let me share my screen once again and tell you about Bill Pauly sponsoring this program. And Bill Pauly tells us that he is sponsoring this program because he's been disabled and he was told his whole life of all the stuff he couldn't do because of his disability. He's been in the wrestling business for 14 years now, and he's starting over as a referee. And he's doing that to show that his son, who is also disabled, that you can do anything that you want to. You're only limited by what you're willing to do. So, and Bill Pauly is bringing us this message. We appreciate his sponsorship. And of course, right now we're featuring a service for disabled people here in North Carolina. It's arcnc.org. That's arcnc.org. So if you're disabled or know someone who's disabled and like to look at available services for yourself, you can check them out, or you can donate to the group on that website. It's arcnc.org, arcnc.org. One more time, arcnc.org. And we'd like to thank Bill Pauly for helping us out with the show. All right, Branch Management, our first sponsor, our oldest child here, and we love them to death, is a tree service that operates in the Mount Airy, Surrey County area of North Carolina that can help you with trees that are branches that are too close to structures, normal pruning, or complete tree removal. They offer very competitive rates and are here to serve you. And not only do they do the tree service work, they also do gutter cleaning, pressure washing, general landscaping. They do it all. So you can get free estimates from them. If you do the tree service, you may be eligible for a $100 referral bonus if you turn them onto a friend or family member that also needs their help. You can call 336-648-9282 or 336-320-8994 for more information on the tree service. Again, 336-648-9282 or 336-320-8994 for more information or to set up an appointment with the tree service. For the landscaping, pressure washing, gutter cleaning, general landscaping services, all that stuff, that's a different number. That's 336-648-2487. Once again, for those of you listening, 336-648-2487, and you tell them that AIWF Ringside Wrestling sent you. And now, our most delicious sponsor, Tease Treats, a locally owned food truck that operates out of Mount Airy, North Carolina. They're available in most parts of the state, and they've got more than one vehicle, so they can be in multiple locations at the same time. They have a full menu, including hot dogs, chicken, milkshakes, barbecue, ice cream, many varieties of funnel cakes, and now feature mini donuts. When it comes to delicious quality as well as reasonable prices, you cannot beat Tease Treats. You can find out more information about Tease Treats at facebook.com/Tease Treats, or you can give them a call at 336-755-8204. That's 336-755-8204. And has there been any new concoctions coming out of the Tease Treats laboratory lately, Rick Deagle?
Pizza.
Pizza, that's right.
Yeah, put a pizza oven in there now.
Nice. So you got pizza.
And you know, since Tease Treats is run by who it's run, she is typical for this time of year. Everything in there seems to be pumpkin spice now.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that and caramel. I don't know. It's weird about this fall season, but another thing is pumpkin and caramel and apples.
Yeah.
I don't know. They done like an apple caramel cheesecake the other day, and it's like had girls in Uggs like melting, wearing them Ugg boots like melting in the parking lot. Oh, that is so good.
Oh Lord. Y'all basic. You know, all this pumpkin spice stuff. That's like I'm just like, yeah, I'm with you. But now I understand the apples, because this is the time of year apples come in, right? I mean, apples are everywhere right now.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I know the rednecks feed them to deer before they blow their brains out.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to attract them. And I'll tell you what, nothing will make a horse like you better than sharing an apple with them.
Yeah, exactly. So evidently it works the same with girls.
Yeah.
In Ugg boots, apples, it attracts them in, and then you can ambush them. I don't know.
Girls are still wearing Ugg boots. That is so Snooki and Jersey Shore and like
ain't it though?
15 years ago.
I know, man. They flop around in them things, and it's Uggs and leggings or whatever the hell it is they call them. I don't know.
Yeah,
Spandex. Spandex is your friend.
Yeah, you're not going to hear me complain too much about leggings in most cases, but you know, but the Snooki boots, I no.
I don't know what to say about that.
No.
Anyway,
that was one of the shows. That was one of those TV shows that, you know, like Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, that like you could actually sit there and if you watched it, you could feel your brain cells dying.
Yes, your IQ goes down.
Yeah,
and I can't do that now at my age because I have a hard enough time formulating sentences anyhow. Hell, I could be the president of the United States right now. I'm slumbering with my speech.
Don't get me started. Yeah, you're right. It's tough as you get older. So yeah, but anyway, I wonder whatever happened to Honey Boo Boo. I know Mama's
lined up for gastro bypass surgery at any day now.
Well, I know Mama has run afoul of the law a couple of times since that show went off the air. But anyway,
I noticed you are not surprised by that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody is. So anyway, we wanted to show you some more classic footage. Now this was a little bit longer video, but I thought it's a treat here. It's featuring the Bravado Brothers. And the first thing you're going to see is them cutting a promo behind a fence for Fright Night. I don't know what year this is.
The first thing you'll see is that, but the first thing you'll notice is hair.
Yeah, a lot of hair.
Lots of hair.
Lots of hair. But anyway, we'll take a look at that, and then we'll go to Ronsford, West Virginia, and see them wrestle in a match. And so let me get, okay, we're good for sound and everything. All right, here we go. Let me bump the sound up a little bit real quick here so you can hear it. Because
now them boys have changed too.
Yeah. Listen to this.
No.
Go.
You not. This is what it's come to. 15-foot high steel cage. And you have brought it all on yourself. At first, this was just a friendly competition. Who's better than who? But then, you got jealous. You saw that you were not as good as the Bravado Brothers, and you just couldn't take it. So what did you do? You jump us from behind. And see, the good thing about dealing with the steel, we can be as bad as we want to. We can make you bleed. We can punish you as much as we want to. And you know that's exactly what we're gonna do in Elkin, North Carolina on July 26th.
United, Wentworth, North Carolina, in what appeared to be a friendly victory celebration. I was hit in the face with the Canadian flag. When we get to Elkin, North Carolina, deal with the steel, anything goes, fellas. And all I can say is the Bravados have got something up their sleeves. So I suggest you be ready, because we are.
Compelling promo, Rick Diesel, and somebody.
Yes, just keep in mind, Triple H and the Libertarian Party, that these guys were just starting out. You see what I'm saying? And they were, you know what I'm saying? They were still learning. Their wrestling skills was awesome, but they were still working on their promo skills.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I'm gonna try to talk over this so we don't get popped for copyright. Let me just back that down a little bit. And so here they are in Ronsford, West Virginia, when they were AIWF
Tag team champions.
Yeah, this was before I think the world titles and the traveling championships started. Am I correct?
Yes, and this was one of our, this is one of our first, this might have been our first show ever in Ronsford, was it?
No, I can tell you why. I know it wasn't, because that's me behind the camera. So send your hate tweets to, well, I ain't gonna give you my Twitter. But
Instagram. Does that work?
Yeah, well, yeah, they can send them there too, which I'll promptly ignore them. But anyway, I filmed this show because Tim Dolan told me, "Oh man, you should have been at the first show we did in Ronsford. We had 300 people in the building." So if you notice in the background, I'm trying to disguise it the best I can, but you can see it's probably good 12 to 15 people in that gym for this show.
Is this the one? Now my question is this the one? Is this the show we done during, was it no, it was not some kind of a.
Oh, Jimmy Love and Jason Blade.
Or was it? No, it wasn't. It wasn't a festival or nothing. I think that's the one where we had so many people at.
No, okay. And here comes Jimmy Love and Jason Blade. Oh Lord. And he always had a field day with people in West Virginia.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. And always a great entrance. Jimmy Love was a great champion. He's still a great wrestler to this day. Jason Blade, not so much. But
Jason Blade I think he's done, ain't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Retired.
Yeah. Well, he was never that good anyway.
But also.
Yes, that was a shot. Check this out, though. Here's Jimmy Love doing his own intro.
Let me handle this microphone. I'm probably the only one in this building, with the exception of my partner here, that knows how to work one of these things. You people, first of all, you should have been up on your feet cheering when we came out of the door there. who's in the house tonight. You know the deal. And if you don't know, I'm gonna remind you. First of all, coming to you live from Love Street, USA, weighing in at 258 pounds, Mr. Electricity, Mr. Charisma, Mr. Showtime, handsome Jimmy Love. Hold that for me, hold that love. Let me strike a pose for him. Yeah.
Jimmy Love, anything
Jimmy
but
Love
humble.
is always the showman, man. If you ever see his name or his picture on a poster for a show, go. Pack the kids up, put grandma in the back seat, and go watch Jimmy Love. You will not regret it.
Oh yeah. Jason Blade almost fell off the ring steps getting into the ring and then told me, you better edit that. Like, no.
Too late.
Yeah.
But you know,
Here it is back to haunt him all these years later.
Also, Matt, you know, you're just talking about West Virginia. This is a different part of West Virginia than what we were used to back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Remember War, Bradshaw?
Welch.
There was a lot of people come to those shows.
Yeah, it was. Well, they didn't have any other entertainment in town.
Yeah. My God. I remember we used to go to Big Creek High School back before they tore it down. Yeah.
Oh, they tore it down?
Yeah, I think they did. They shut it down.
No, okay.
I think they tore it down.
Well, there's enough lead in the water, you know, eventually.
Or coal dust.
Yeah, I'm telling whatever it was, made me sick. But yeah, it wasn't safe to drink water in them old coal mining towns. It wasn't.
I tell you, and if you want to see, if you want to see somebody having a good time in their latter years after wrestling, look up Jason. What is Jason's Blade's social media?
I can't remember.
I can't either, but find him. He goes through a lot of beer. Him and Jimmy Love both.
Yeah.
Jimmy Love goes through a lot of beer. God bless them, man. They're loving life. That's what they're doing. Jimmy loving life.
Yeah. But this, like, you can hear the ring announcer, maybe not, talking about this is for the Mid Atlantic or the World Tag Team Championships at the time, as the referee holds them upside down. But nonetheless, I'm a stickler for details. There they are.
You got to be, man.
Yeah.
Well,
one of them was upside down, the other one was right side up. You couldn't tell because the one that was upside down was on top of the one that was right side up, but nonetheless. So here you're seeing the Bravados, and of course, all you guys know that Harlem Bravado, the one with the long hair, is an NXT now. He's called Andre Chase, and he runs something called Chase U. I think I've seen him once or twice on there. And his brother, Lance Bravado, has gone into politics and is in the Libertarian Party. Oh, which
it is Rockingham County.
Yeah,
North Carolina.
Yeah, Rockingham, where Eden and
So around the Eden, Rockingham area. So I don't know if he's up for anything in this upcoming midterm election, but check him out. Listen to his platform, and if you agree with him, go vote.
Yeah,
that's as political as I'm gonna get.
Yeah, that's about as political as I'll get too. Even, well, you know, like with me, when it comes to politics, I'm pretty right down the middle. But like, I like we'll try to help friends and stuff like that if they're into politics, whether or not I agree with their platform or not. You know, if somebody wants to serve the community, more power to them. I say.
I like people to do their own homework. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether you're a friend of mine or not, I tell people, I just don't tell people to vote for you. But I will tell people about you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, if you're in his district, go check him out. If you agree with what he says, then vote for him. If you don't. I mean, that's the beauty of this country, right?
Yes, indeed. I'm trying to find out about it. I see that he lost an election for House of Representatives position in Raleigh.
But I think he made I think he's like made commissioner in another election.
Yeah, I'm going to find out.
Yeah, look at it.
I'm looking it up right now as we look at the Bravado Brothers in action against Jimmy Love and Jason.
You know,
Wade.
speaking of West Virginia, I will say that I'm pretty sure that it's still there. Tim Dolan is like a city commissioner in Union, West Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Really, Tim?
County commissioner, something like that. Yeah, I think he's on the commissioner board or something in Union, West Virginia. Wrestling personalities and politics, ladies and gentlemen. There you go.
Yes, sir.
Of course, now keep in mind, you know, there's not a lot of people up there to run against him, but hey, you know, he made it.
Let's see. Houston Barrow, Libertarian Party, ran for election. This is from Ballotpedia. Ran for election to the North Carolina House of Representatives to represent District 65. He lost in the general election on November 6, 2018. In 2021, the website popped up an ad for some reason and threw me off. In 2021, it says he changed his affiliation from the Libertarian Party to the Republican Party. That was probably a smart move because, you know, it opened you up to more help from a fundraising.
Yeah, and that's sad too, because I personally don't think we need just two parties. I mean,
no, we don't. I mean, you see that, Kane, Glenn Jacobs is the mayor of Knoxville County, Tennessee now, and he was a libertarian. He's mostly identifies as a libertarian, but he runs as a Republican. For those particular reasons. So,
well, those two parties have always kind of had a lot in common.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, they're libertarians, and I mean, you know, it's in the name, liberty. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And Republicans have always, and it's in the name, republic. Which, God bless, why are we getting so political? The United States is not a democracy; it's a constitutional republic.
I thought it was a representative republic, but anyway, I'm looking here, vote Tuesday out. Yeah, he's running for Rockingham County Commissioner, according to
this but hey,
yes, it's upcoming.
Is he not already a commissioner there?
He might be.
Is he running for re-election or just election?
Let me see. I'm trying to look at the ballot here. Sherry Bees. This looks like a primary ballot. Federal offices. No, it's not. No,
maybe he won the primary.
No, I'm looking at. He's got the ballot sample that the State Board of Elections puts out for Eden, and I'm trying to find him on this district offices: court judge, district attorney, county offices, board of commissioner. You may vote for two: Charlie Hall, Houston Barrow. So he's going to win. Because the only people running are him and some other guy. So they're running unopposed, and you can vote for two. So he's going to win.
Yeah. And there's a lot of them that gets in that way.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them gets in because they have so many seats. And a lot of times, you know, they'll go down. You know, like they have 5 seats, the first 5's in.
Yeah.
You know. I think that's the way it works.
But this is encouraging to me because it shows that he ran for a state position and lost first. Now he's dropping back to local. And I think that is where politicians can do the most good at the local level. Once they get to the state level, they can still be effective, but not as much as they can at the local level. And by the time they get to the federal level, you know, I mean, it's not in the nature of the federal government.
Lobbyists get to them.
Yeah, it's not in the nature of the federal government to do anything but fight wars and collect taxes. So
right. Higher you go, the more chance you are turning heel.
Yeah, or being less effective. So I think that's great for Houston, man. Keep up the good work. I took a civics class here in Concord, you know, and they're desperate to have people help serve on these boards and stuff like that. But with my schedule, with my regular job and my hobbies, I could not dedicate the time to it. But so I got to give Houston credit. When he stepped away from wrestling, it looks like he's really getting involved in local politics and something that he has a passion for. And despite, you know, political differences we all may have, it's important, man. You know, we got to have people that are willing to go out and fill these positions that are on the up and up, you know, especially at the local level. You know, somebody's
exactly. And I don't know if this is political or not, but I did get an email a few months ago asking me if I'd be interested in being a member of the Virginia Athletic Commission Board of Wrestling. They want me to sit on the wrestling board.
Wow.
In Virginia. I never answered the email.
Yeah.
Because
kind of odd.
I do not want to be a part of something I am so against. They would not want me to be there either. I'd be like, just let them do it.
We need to dissolve. First thing I want to be done is this board to be dissolved.
Yes, I want us all to be fired. Thank you.
Which is kind of odd to me because you're not even a resident of Virginia.
I know, but evidently you don't have to be. Or they think I am. I mean, but I don't know.
You've probably got a promoter's license up there at some point.
Oh yeah, I've promoted in Virginia since what, 95?
Uh-huh.
So it's freaking almost 30 years I've been promoting up there. Maybe that's what it was. It was like, hey, this guy's been around, but I didn't get my promoter's license this year because, to be honest with you, when the board shut down through the pandemic and they literally got rid of everyone because Tracy died, God rest her soul, she was awesome. And then they just got rid of the rest of the board, and then the politicians took over.
Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying?
And they're going to want to collect revenue.
Yeah, they didn't have the wrestling board changed. It changed a lot, and I remember the email they sent me saying that it's like there were certain days you couldn't run shows on because they wouldn't gonna send nobody out, to an inspector. I guess they wouldn't gonna send nobody out like holidays. They didn't want you running on holiday. Now that may have changed, because this was like 2021. After the pandemic, whenever it was, I think late 2021 when they was allowing wrestling again, and it went into it got real political real quick, and I didn't like it, so I didn't renew my license. It may have changed. I do know promoters up there that got their license. Jimmy loved doing that strut. Boy, I always loved
and you could see the Bravados are in a lot of trouble. We were kind of making sport of them about their promo skills at this time. But as you can see, even as young men, they really had a gift for being able to wrestle and in this match really take a lot of punishment. But they had the gift, man. They were really dedicated and really tried to learn.
Well, I mean, if you sit and think about it, Harlem is now in NXT. Mm-hmm. Adam Page, the match we watched before, he's AEW former world champion. And like I said, those are just guys that had it. You know what I'm saying? Jason Blade was good.
Yeah.
He was awesome. Jimmy Love. I mean, we have had some hellacious talent in this company.
Yeah. And Jimmy Love's still wrestling. I went to, here we go, to put Houston over a little bit. And I remember, and Houston, even though you turned your nose down to me when I saw you on an independent show here in Concord, like I was small potatoes, I'm going to put you over. HoustonBarrow.org is where you can go to donate to Houston's campaign, or you can mail your check to his campaign to 349 Garden Road, Eden, North Carolina, 27288. So that's 349 Garden Road, Eden, North Carolina, 27288. Houston, that will be $10, and I will collect that when I see you.
And make sure you're not violating any campaign finance laws.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. I've never donated to a campaign, although they ask me a lot.
Yeah, no, I don't do that either. Not a big fan of that. But I mean, I know Houston, so if I was going to give money to anybody, it would probably be him.
If I was, you know what? If I was, it would be him.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll send him $5.
Yeah. I mean, every little bit helps.
A hot dog.
Well, I mean, I don't know what if he can roll over monies collected for another election, because I mean, he's one of only 2 candidates on the ballot, so I know he's going to win.
Yeah.
So I don't know that he needs that money right now. I'm sure he'd take it, but because you can only spend campaign donations on certain things. You got to be real careful because the IRS watches that.
Right. Now, but you know what? Let me tell you something else. And we've talked a lot about this, but this is an interesting subject. Even though it's a wrestling show, we have a wrestler here who's into politics.
Yeah.
So it crosses 2 planes here. But even if you don't really care about what he's doing now, Houston. I love his slogan, Houston, we have a problem. That's perfect. He was born for this. But anyway, even if you don't care what's going on in the Eden, North Carolina, Rockingham, North Carolina, commissioners, whatever, keep an eye on him. Because he's young, and just because he is in that local politics now, we know from the one he lost, he has his vision is bigger. He has larger expectations of where his political career is going. So you may want to keep up with him now, because in the future, he may be in a race that does represent you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
hey, and he got 2,220 votes in that election he lost.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. So, you know, you may not live in Eden or Rockingham County, but you may end up in his district someday that he's running for, because he could run for, you know, hell, he could run for governor of North Carolina someday. Who knows? So you need to keep up with everything. And I hope that don't come back to get him. You know, maybe Jimmy Love, Jason Blade don't need to run for office now.
No, not after that. Yeah, that was folks. You're gonna have to check out the video feed to see what just happened. I cannot describe it on a radio show. Let's just say that one partner's face was placed in a not good part of the other partner's body by accident. It was kind of it was.
And if anything, wrestling, if anything, wrestling can teach you a lesson about Houston Barrows. He can take a beating and come back fighting. So if that's political, let it be. Yeah.
Now, his brother Clint, who's in NXT, by the way, and I'm just going to say this because I said, you know, the brothers are very different, you know, although they're brothers. Now, when I bumped into Clint at that same wrestling show, he looked as happy to see me as I was to see him. And Clint has always had a great attitude. I bumped into him at Spartanburg a few years ago at a big time wrestling show. He was helping on the ring crew. I mean, he went and got donuts for all the boys at the Krispy Kreme across the street. He has paid his dues in the wrestling business. And, you know, I cannot say with any, I can't even think of the words to say how hard I am pulling for him to be successful in NXT and move up to WWE and be able to make a full-time living and become very wealthy from this business. If anybody,
and I want that for him too. All I ask, if it ever happens, please just remember us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. Because
it's so hard up there now, but it's because it's like, God, well, I don't know how it's going to be now that Vince is gone, but every couple of months, it was like, oh, there's another big cut in WWE, you know, and there'd be a list of wrestlers. And there for a while, every time it would come out, I would browse through it saying, God, I don't want to see his name. I don't want to see his name. And I hadn't so far. So
he's
keep
still
up the
there.
hard work, brother.
Yeah, no kidding. And but there, you know, the good thing about it, I've noticed so far that even though Triple H is in charge, is they've brought back a lot of people. And, you know, it's even rumored now that one of my favorites, Bray Wyatt's coming back. And I wasn't that crazy about the Fiend gimmick, but look, he's a third generation wrestler. He's Mike Rotunda's son, for God's sakes. I'm going to pull for him, you know, and he damn
goes
sure
all the way back to Blackjack, brother.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so I'm not, you know, I'm going to pull for him, and I don't care what anybody says. Brian Last and Jim Cornette can say that he can't work all they want. I disagree in the most respectful way I can. I don't. Now, when he was doing the Fiend, he didn't do much, but I thought he was great. You know, when he first came out, 2013, 2014, 2015, you know, those first few years before they put him in that weird gimmick. And
I think that might be what turned a lot of people against him, was the Fiend gimmick.
Yeah.
You know,
even though he did it well, he did the best he could. I really think the old expression, he turned chicken salad, made chicken salad out of chicken shit. You know, that was a case with that Fiend gimmick. I thought he did the best he could with what he had to work with.
Well, the stupid Firefly thing, whatever the hell that was.
Firefly.
That was a little much.
Yeah.
I couldn't stomach that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know what I'm saying? So,
but man, he did it. He did it with a smile on his face. God bless him.
Well, you have to keep the checks coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Yep. And so I'm hoping he comes back and they go back to more of what he was doing at first, you know, being, you know, some kind of crazed religious nut or whatever he was.
That was good. I think that was when he was at his peak up there.
Yeah, he had really Children of the Corn type feel to that whole thing, you know.
Yes. And people loved it. And
Yeah.
why they got away from that, I'll never know. But I mean, I understand why they change up gimmicks, because in wrestling, you know, it gets stale quick.
Well, it's not like
I mean,
the territory. Yeah, it's not like the territory days where you can, if something gets stale, you just go somewhere else and disappear for a while,
Right.
and you come back a year later and be hot again. I mean, the national promotions, you can't do that.
No, you cannot.
And look, the Bravados have finally got the advantage. Look at this. Whoa, big double.
So they
team.
were so good at the tag team thing.
Yeah, 2, 3. And that is that, Rick Diesel. The Bravados win and retain the Mid Atlantic or the World Tag Team Championship at the time. I got to say, this is probably like 06, somewhere like that, 07 maybe? Or do you have any idea? Do you remember?
I really cannot remember. I could probably look it up.
But
And you know what? Anybody watching this, and don't let the Facebook views fool you. We get our share of Facebook views, and the show does good.
yeah,
But there's a lot of people. You'd be amazed, because I was like, you know, we get the same 300 or 400 views on Facebook, and then I got talking to people, and you'd be amazed how many people checks this show out just riding to work.
yeah.
Because I totally forgot that you can listen to this show on podcasts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've talked to people, it's like, yeah, I listen to it on, you know, when I'm riding in the car all the time.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And our numbers are, you know, have been steady for a while, but they're starting to pick up on the audio side a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I think it's kind of like I tell my people at my corporate job, it's like shampoo, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. The show is there. It's been there for about 6 months now. It's continuing to get episodes on there. And when people subscribe to it, they get a little notification. It's just, you know, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while for people to
And
know.
there's so many on podcasts is everything. My God, it's got the point now to where it's like, what is iHeartRadio and the Sirius XM? I mean, they literally have commercials now talking about all the podcasts. They got a podcast about everything, you know, alligator rape, anything, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they got
you're right.
Anything. There's a podcast for.
Yeah.
So
Alligator rape. Oh, make sure.
I mean, you know, they talk about everything.
Yeah.
And there's so many to choose from. So having listeners at all is something. And I want, it's nothing I want people to do. Let me or Matt know. Tell us on you can, I guess I can send it to you on Ringside. Let us know. And unfortunately, the Zoom glitch has kind of pushed us into recording this thing instead of doing it live.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of like the recording thing rather than doing it live, because the live worked me, because I had to, you know, keep up with.
Yeah. Because you watched the chat.
Yeah. I watched the chat, and now I can get a little more involved. And I know people like the live, but let us know what you think about this, because it gives us a little more creativity. I can get more involved, and honestly, we can accommodate guests a little more. And I'm hoping that we'll get to that point. And I mean, I'm not saying we won't go back to the live, but
yeah,
I do know that your schedule coming up from probably between now and Christmas is going to make the live hard to do.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be next to impossible on Monday night at 7:00. Ain't happening, because I'll be working. You know,
right.
So.
But that don't mean we still can't do this thing and post it Monday night at 7:00 or somewhere around that area. But it'll be there. You'll get a notification. We're going to let people know. And if you're okay with this format, it might be a format we can stick with. Maybe do a live show every once in a while.
Yeah.
But me and Matt both has talked about toying around with this thing and doing different things with it. So who knows where it'll go from here.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that we can, you know, get into, my goal with this is to be able to show more matches, more classic matches, more current matches. You know, this company's been around for 30 years, and we have, and I'm telling you, the video archives are fucking incredible that we have. And so I am hoping we can feature more of that. I want it to be out there on the internet so that until the sun burns the planet up, people can enjoy it for generations to come,
Yes.
And so, and it's getting to the point now, there's so much out there, for the wrestling fans, and so much of it has a paywall. And I don't want this show to ever be that way. If you love wrestling, now, granted, we want you to buy tickets and come to the show. We're trying, in the end, it's a business. You want to make money, sell pay-per-views, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I want to keep it as widely available to as many people as possible, at least with this show. And so, and kudos to a place that I get a lot of my information on too. I'm going to put over for free here, but there is a podcast called The Wrestling News. That's about 10 minutes, comes out every morning, and it's done by the same people that do Cornette's broadcast, Arcadian Vanguard. It's got Mike Sempervive on there as the host. He's the one that hosts the Mid Atlantic podcast. So he grew up in Washington and was a big Jim Crockett fan like all of us were. And he does that show. It's called The Wrestling News. Look for a big yellow square, and you should, and everybody out there should check this podcast out. It is very informative. They do not give opinions, no bullshit. They report attendance numbers. They report results from here in the United States as well as Japan. It's great. Can't put them over enough. But
speaking of over, my God, I just looked at the time. We've been going for a while.
Have we? I don't have a clock running anywhere where I can see
it. It's.
Oh wow! It's almost 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
we're taping on Sunday, October 2nd. We're going to try to get this out to you guys in the next few minutes. But yeah, Rick Diesel, this has been a long show. So do you have any final thoughts? Anything you want to share before we go?
Fright Night's coming up in a few weeks. We hate that the hurricane kept us from having our show on October 1st, which means it's going to be a while before everybody gets their next dose of Mid Atlantic. But absence makes the heart grow fonder. That gives us the time to really plan a big show for you on the 29th of October in Mount Airy for Fright Night. I think they're going to do the trunk or treat that day with Veterans Park.
Oh, okay.
We're also planning some other things to make it a little more fan friendly, a little more, make the fans have a little better experience. So
maybe.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, it sounds like
Yes.
this is tailor-made a Halloween show for Ricky, the Mid-Atlantic ring rat, because he likes to hand out candy.
Yes,
anyway.
I've seen him in a while. He needs to get out there, man.
Yeah, this will be a perfect day for him. So maybe we'll see Ricky on Halloween weekend. But we will be back here with you to talk some more wrestling next week, although we don't exactly know what day or time. Probably end up doing this on Sunday again. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. But for Rick Diesel, I am Mad Matt Carter. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next week. And until then, so long for now.